moving, though they're disapproving. Keep them doggies moving, right.
Okay, so coming at us from 19th century London is this ArtFX J Ciel Phantomhive from Kotobukiya. Sculpted in 1/8 scale by Shirahige Sakuru, this little guy has actually managed to really surprise me with how good he is, even though I couldn't care less about you. Well done. I mean, just look at him. Where, my parents are dead, I'm overabundantly rich and I've got an awesome butler. Who do you think you are, Bruce Wayne? God, he's even riding on a Dark Knight. Grow up. So my only experience with ArtFX J figures so far have been the 1/7 scale Yu-Gi-Oh ones, which completely dwarf this guy in comparison. His smaller scale did make the price point sting a little bit more, but to be honest, if this guy was blown up any further, he'd be less of a figure and more of a bona fide polyvinyl chloride murder weapon, kind of like something that you would see out of Phoenix Wright or American McGee's Alice. Now unfortunately he has got this ugly looking crease on the side of his head here, but other than that the sculpt is pretty damn good. And aside from the dodgy paint job on this ribbon here, I've got no other complaints when it comes to the paint job either. I was going to complain about the bottom here, these little tassels on the horse's blankie thingy, but to be honest, from a distance that actually looks really good, so I'm going to leave that one alone. And speaking of horse, look! He's on a bloody horse! I assume that this Black Knight is an allegory to Sebastian rather than Batman. And as far as bases go, this one is actually quite impressive, aside from it maybe being a tad excessive. I was worried that there was going to be some serious wibblage issues with him being all over here, but fortunately they've put enough weight in the bottom that that really isn't an issue. And while I do think that this choice of base is more than likely what's jacked up to the price to the point where it is, to be honest, I don't mind. I mean, this base really encapsulates what this figure is all about. Extravagance. I mean, look at him. This kid wears his rings over his gloves. If that doesn't scream bourgeois to you, then you probably just don't know what that word means, and I wouldn't blame you either. It took me 5 minutes to remember how to bloody spell it. And this base does just sort of mean that Ciel can kind of chill out in this nonchalant, definitely not boring pose of him being definitely bored. And this is only reinforced by his face. And I love it. If he looked any more bored, you could start a game of snakes and ladders. Although, he does look like he should be comically sliding off at any moment now. Ooh, and check out Babby Horse as well. Okay, yes, I know, it's a knight rather than a horse, but I'll tell you what it is as well. It's a bloody pain in the arse. This thing is absolutely tiny, and the only way you can get him to hold it is by just like jamming it in his hand there, and then hoping to Her Majesty that it doesn't fall out. I've had this thing for less than a week, and I've lost it nearly twice already. And of course, he's looking edgy as hell with his skull-tipped cane there. Come on, Ciel, you look about as metal as a sponge. So yeah, all in all, Ciel's really good. Considering that I bought him solely for the purpose of him going with Sebastian, who's coming out later this month, he's managed to really surprise me. I wasn't expecting much, and to be fair, I was very pleasantly surprised when I got this tiny Earl out of his box. So, needless to say, if you're looking to get into the ArtFX J Black Butler line, then Ciel is certainly a great place to start. Do you have this figure? Let me know what you think about it in the comments section. Do you want it? Do you not want it? Let me know why as well. And don't forget to click that like button if, you liked the video. No point clicking it if you didn't like it, that's lying. And if you fancy knowing my thoughts on Sebastian and Grell, click that subscribe button. They're both on order already, so videos are inevitably going to happen. Other than that, thanks for watching. Bye!